Hello everybody, Jim here, coming to you once again on this chilly January night, as usual from my apartment here in Tokyo, and having some beer tonight, again as usual, but I've been drinking the Sapporo Black Label recently, but tonight I'm going back to the old classic, Asahi Super Dry. Really good stuff, brewed right here in Tokyo, Japan. Gotta get right into it. There we go. We like that sound. Cheers to you all. Okay. Oh, that's delicious and refreshing. Anyway, we're not here to talk about beer tonight. What we're here to talk about is the second round for the state of emergency here in Tokyo. There was one last year, and we are in the midst of another one that started just this month, I think. Just last week, or the week before, I don't know. But it's supposed to go on until mid-February, and this one is a little odd to me, because there's a rule change, I guess. It's which is weird, because you would think if it's an emergency, you would take emergency measures, but I don't know, it's odd this time. Last time, when the state of emergency was declared, a lot of, I guess, government facilities were shut down, or at least schools, public schools were shut down. And I'm a teacher, but I teach for a private company, but for a month, I wasn't working at all. They had us all stay home, and thankfully they paid us 70% of our salary while we stayed home, though. And then the following month, we still couldn't go back into work, so we started working remotely from home. And then after doing that for a month, we, started going back to work. This time around, though, it's odd, because this state of emergency is more targeted towards businesses, and specifically bars and izakaya, and I think restaurants as well. I think they're all expected to close. Previously, before this state of emergency was instated, I think bars were all expected to close at 10 o'clock. And so it was they were targeted very specifically, the bars and the izakayas, and I think the ramen shops too. It was you all gotta close by 10, but they weren't really imposing those rules fairly. There were restaurants and stuff that could stay open, family restaurants, Gusto and Jonathan's and Denny's and stuff like that. Now though, I think it's applied across the board, restaurants, bars, izakaya, all that stuff. They gotta close by 8 o'clock. But schools are still open, other businesses still operating as usual. I'm still going to work as normal, and that doesn't, I don't know, it's if it's a state of emergency, yet it's still acceptable for everybody to, get on the train together and go to work and work together and do all those things, but it's not acceptable to be in a bar past 8 o'clock at night. I don't know, I don't get the, why differentiate there? I think I'm more at risk on a train, packed with people, especially, everybody's still going to work. There's still that morning rush hour and that evening rush hour. Although, for me, it's doubly inconvenient, because I usually work a little late. I think the earliest I'll get off of work is maybe around 6 or 7, which isn't too late. And then some nights, though, I'll get off at 9 or 9:30. It all kind of depends on, what classes I have to teach that day, and if there's any other, kind of stuff I have to do at work. So if I get off at, let's say, 9 o'clock, usually, on my way home, I like to stop off somewhere to get something to eat and, get a beer or something before I head back home. And, that's not really an option anymore. Really all you can do, if you want to, is go to a convenience store, because those are, still open 24/7. So on my way home, instead of, popping into a Gusto and having some nice, a hot meal and a beer, I just, pop into the Lawson and get some fried chicken and some beers to go, I guess. But so that seemed a little, strange to me that, you declare a state of emergency. It's an emergency. So saith the, whoever said it, government officials. But it's not such an emergency that we shouldn't be crammed on the trains together or going to work or any of that stuff. But it is enough of an emergency that the bar has to close at 8 o'clock. So that, that's, I don't know. I mean, it's lame. I understand, like, it's a situation we're all going through. We have to take measures to deal with it and stuff like that. But, yeah, just the circumstances themselves, I guess, are what I'm not happy about. The fact that, this all seems necessary now. That sucks. I had some plans for things I wanted to shoot. In particular, I wanted to shoot a bunch of stuff from Tokyo Video Gamers in Akihabara, which is, like, one of my new favorite places to hang out and drink. And I want to bring back Import Game of the Day this year, and I want to shoot little intro segments for all the games from Tokyo Video Gamers. So that was something we were planning to shoot this month, but unfortunately Tokyo Video Gamers, they just decided to go ahead and close until the state of emergency is lifted sometime next month. So all that stuff had to be pushed back to next month. So that's lame, because I really like just hanging out there, and then I also had intentions to film a bunch of stuff there. But, whatever, that day will come. And also, like, why I started, putting together some game hunting, compilation videos, because right now it's not really feasible for me to go and do those, game hunting videos and arcade videos and things I really like to do. Just because, like, you're really discouraged from, doing those things. And I feel like, if I can't go to the bar, or I can't go get something to eat, really probably shouldn't be, if it's really, like, the stakes are that high, it's an emergency, I probably shouldn't be, heading down to the game store and putting my hands all over things and rubbing elbows with all these other people and stuff. So I had to put, some production stuff on the back burner. But that's fine. That's not the most important thing right now. But yeah, so, that sucks. Circumstances being what they are. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird for a state of emergency. But it's sort of selectively applied to, specific businesses. Another, really crummy side effect to all this is how sort of, I guess, difficult travel between prefectures is, especially if you want to go from Tokyo to somewhere else, or vice versa. We found out how tall of an order that is, because my girlfriend lives in Tochigi Prefecture, which is further north, and she's also a teacher. And we over the holidays we were planning, maybe she was going to come to Tokyo, or I was going to go to Tochigi, and like the level of just sort of, there was paperwork involved, and you gotta, give us the address of where you're gonna be and contact info, and we gotta be able to get in contact with you at any time, and these things, all the stuff handed down from the company. And just kind of, invasive stuff where it's like they gotta be on top of your whereabouts at all times, and they gotta be able to contact you at all time, and I suppose if necessary they have to be able to request that you return home, and that was just like, so we opted not to deal with that and to just ride out the storm. So I haven't been able to see her in a while, like several months now. I haven't seen my girlfriend, and that sucks. And just like that level of, keeping track of your whereabouts and all of that, I haven't really experienced that since I was in the military, because that's how it was a lot, especially when you're overseas. Like, you gotta have your phone on you at all times, and your superiors have to be able to reach you at all times and recall you back to the base if necessary. Also, I worked in the hospital. I was a medic, and we had to have, occasionally you would get the death pager, is what we called it. It was this pager that everybody passed around, where you would have it on you for a week, including that weekend, which sucked because it meant you couldn't, like, go partying or anything that weekend. And it was the death pager, so at 24/7 they had to be able to reach you, because one of our responsibilities was to process any deaths that occurred on base, which was never pleasant. Luckily, I only ever had to do that twice. In 4 years, I only had to process 2 deaths on the base. So that's 2 out of 2 years. That ain't too bad. But, it reminded me of that. The company's wanting all of that information, your contact information and the contact information of where you're going to be and their address and a detailed listing of your movements and where you're going and who are you going to be with, and we have to contact you, blah, blah, blah. It reminded me of kind of a more stringent, strict military protocol. And so I didn't like that. I didn't like the sound of that. But anyway, I just wanted to turn the microphone on tonight and just talk and vent a little bit, because it seems like, aside from like bars and restaurants closing early, it's really kind of business as usual in Tokyo. Everybody's still going to work, still taking the train, still out riding their bikes and walking dogs and doing all those things. It's just after I get off work, I can't go get a beer. I just have to grab some on the way home, or like on a day like today when I got a day off, Uber Eats is ultra convenient for that, because I can actually just order beers from the Lawson, and a nice gentleman or lady will drop off a bag full of beers at my door, as someone did tonight, along with a can of Pringles, which I'm really going to tear into after I'm done with this. But yeah, and I realize that the measures being taken in Tokyo are not comparable to some other places in the world where they have these super, like, really tight, like, lockdowns. Like, you can't go outside for anything unless you're exercising or walking a dog or something. But they're like, no gatherings, and everything has to close, and don't do this and that and other thing. And it hasn't gotten to that state yet here in Tokyo, thankfully. But yeah, this second state of emergency is kind of, I don't know, kind of half-hearted. I don't particularly get why it's cool for everybody to cram on the trains together and keep working, keep making the dollar, or keep making the yen, but do not spend it on alcohols past 8 o'clock, or you are in trouble, mister. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Again, just venting, drinking my beer, listening to some music, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be nice when all this is lifted up, so I can go to the bar, so I can get back to game hunting and arcades and doing all the things I like, so I can go and see my girlfriend finally. Yeah, just patiently waiting, biding my time, just like everybody else, I guess. That's something, I guess, right? We're all kind of in this together. Anyway, everyone down in the comments below, I know I have viewers from, different parts of the world, from North America, Europe, South America, Asia, all over. And so, yeah, down in the comments, if you want to let me know what kind of measures are being taken where you live to deal with our current situation, how extreme or unextreme is it compared to other places? I'd like to know. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Again, listening to my anarchic ramblings as I vent and drink my beer. So thanks, everyone, and take care of yourselves, stay safe, all that stuff, blah blah blah. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.